Hello everybody, my name is Tanner Kyler, and in today's video we're going to go grow some cacti from seed. I'll show you each species as we put them into the containers, but to start out we're going to go ahead and make some soil mix. So I'm going to go outside and I'm going to get that together, and I'll kind of show you a step-by-step process of how I do my soil mix to grow my cacti from seed. And then I'll do a progress video, you know, going in to these cacti into the future and show you how to take them out and other things, because I saw in the other video where I showed how to grow saguaros from seed, I got a lot of questions asking when you should remove the plastic covering to let the humidity, you know, drop, because they need a lot of humidity, surprisingly, whenever they're young. Young cacti, they dry up quick. And so in the wild, you know, you'd have let's say a saguaro cactus, and it produces thousands and thousands of seeds. Only a few of those seeds are going to actually germinate and turn into a full-grown saguaro, maybe less than 1.1%. So out of 1,000, you might get 1 or 2 to make it fully to maturity. But whenever we're growing them from seed, we want higher germination rates than that. And so we're going to have, it would have died through natural selection in the wild, but we're going to try to get more and more of them to grow. So if I have 100 seeds, you know, I'm wanting at least 50 babies to grow out of it to make this worthwhile. This table's really dirty. And I have this Back to the Roots organic 3-in-1 seed starting mix. It has yucca extract, because it's going to be easier for these cacti to root into. We want them to develop good root systems, because all plants need healthy root systems to be healthy. Mix in some perlite. I'm going to breathe that in. Step back. Don't breathe this dust in, it's not good. It'll make you cough real bad. I'm sure it damages your lungs. So now I just reach in here and it's gonna pick up some more dust. Now, something interesting I learned the other day, you know, I never knew what perlite was. I always thought it was some kind of man-made additive to our soils, but it's actually quite similar to pumice, and it's a volcanic stone. And it's crazy because this is a stone and I can just crush it into nothing. And so now I got this mix. I'm going to bring you over here to look at it. And so we have the mix here. I don't know if that's going to be enough to fill all these hexes, but we're just going to fill up the hexes here. This is my first time growing cacti in one of these cells. A little bit more sand. I'll grab this and let you guys see it. We're getting to where I like it. I kind of just start eyeballing it at some point. I think it needs a little bit more perlite and a little bit more sand, and then we'll have a nice mix here. Something I have to go do, actually, I just realized before, and it's not mandatory, but I like to do it. I microwave this to kill off all bacteria and other like mold spores and stuff, to keep it from attacking and killing your cacti. Because as I'm sitting here outside, hundreds of spores have already landed on top of this. Bacteria from my skin has got in it. Plus, it's been sitting out here for a while, so there's no telling what could be in the soil. So I like to give it a nice, I like to microwave it. I feel like that, you know, it steams it and gets it really hot and kills off most bacteria and mold. We're going to put this in here. Like I said, you don't have to do this. I've definitely not microwaved it before, and I think everything's turned out fine. You're just, in this high of humidity with these baby cacti, they could easily be killed by the spores. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to throw it in there for a minute. Okay. So it's been a minute. Nope. And that soil is going to be really hot. Yeah, it's really hot to the touch. So I got this here. I'm going to go ahead and put this. So the most important part, the reason why I got this, so we have these hexes here. This will be what they grow in. Also, you know, cacti like to be touching each other. The seeds need to be close because they help each other out as they grow up. Here, I'm just going to do this right here. This makes it the easiest. This is the easiest way of doing this here. To remember that we're putting these seeds in. So sometimes if you see these large chunks, just pick them up off the top. Those are the things that bother me. Now you are going to probably get a little bit of rot, especially if you're doing it this large of a scale with these 72 cells here, but it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so I'm just growing them in here on a desk, and there's some western exposure light, but it's real scattered in here because cacti, when they're first starting to grow, they do not want all that light. Now I'm going to put a growing pad underneath it to help warm up the cacti. That's going to help speed up germination and increase the amount that it'll sprout. and it'll also just simulate where, you know, spring, when it's time for them to wake up and grow during the monsoon season. The heat mat here, and we're gonna put it underneath here. Okay. So let's go ahead and crack into this. Just grab my first pack. Let's count how many there are. Armatoceras varieties, I believe. I have that here. So we're gonna go ahead and plant this one. I'll put a picture on the screen. Show what all of these look like. I'm just gonna do it right now. I'm gonna lay these here. There's one in there on accident. And so we're gonna put these in these two cells here. And you see how close I'm putting them together? I don't know if you can actually in this video. Turn the light. Done this 2 cells. I'm gonna put a nice little dusting of sand. Just a little bit in there. Roll that around. I'm just gonna press. Just slightly down. Spread that sand out a little bit. And then just press. I'm gonna put a little bit more sand in there. Like that. And so that's the Armatoceras laetus. Echinocactus. Grossinii. Something like that. Cactus articulatus. Okay, and then we're gonna lay that there to show that those are there. Stenoceras thurbergii. This is one of my favorites. I grow here in the States. Echinoceras cochiensis, the scarlet hedgehog. Not as big as the king's cup, very similar looking. All these, I have quite a few cacti left though. Okay, so this is my Astrophytum hybrid mix. I filmed this. Okay, so this entire row is going to be saguaros. I want a bunch of saguaros, and I want them to grow nice, and I have 100 seeds of them. I grew a bunch of saguaros in another video you guys seen, and something devastating happened. They were growing out in my greenhouse, and it got down to -25 wind chill, and my dad plugged in a heater in the well house to keep it warm, and it blew the breaker on my greenhouse, and all of the cacti, not all of them, but I lost probably 200 cacti. It was a devastating day. It kind of was a big damper, and a big reason why I kind of stopped producing these videos. Here we are, we got a pretty good mix here. I'm gonna bring that saguaro in, but I gotta charge my camera for a minute, and then we'll get back into the filming. Carnegie gigantea, and this is the saguaro, and this is what they'll grow into. Here's my largest one, the only one I have actually at the moment, because all of mine passed away other than this one. This one survived the freeze. It didn't get quite as cold in the greenhouse as it was outside because there wasn't as much wind chill, but it still got down to around -10 and really damaged them. And then this is the Astrophytum hybrids. They'll look something like this. This is one of my Astrophytums that I have already. I'm gonna break a bunch of pups off this one. And then here's another Astrophytum. This one was grafted and I broke it off the graft. It's also variegated. It has this nice yellow and red color. Cactus acanthiotes. This one's Latus spinus, Cactus Latus spinus. Cactus grossii. So maybe I should start spreading them out a little bit more. This is Echinocactus Rousonii. Variety Alba, so it's a white variety. I don't know if that means its spines are white or if its flowers are white. I'm not sure. Capricorni? I'm not sure. Astrophytum, something similar to this. Not exactly, of course, but similar. This one's a funny name. This one's Cactus Peninsulae. I don't. This is a Gymnocalcium, Gymnocalcium, Nindulans. It's a funny name. Not pronouncing that one. Okay. Now we have another Cactus, Stenitzii. Cactus Stenitzii. This is Echinoceras ficii. Cactus Straussii, I believe. Those will be the 500 seeds here that are just all random. I think I'm just gonna kind of pop them in there. Just kind of at random. So here's like half of them. So I'm just gonna sprinkle along, pat all of them down a little bit. Okay, so now we got that. Oh yeah, we're gonna do these real quick. Let me grab a picture. This is what I brought this in for. I'm gonna fill this up almost to where those clips are. This is just a salad container, but it doesn't have a drainage hole yet, and that's okay because we're just gonna be misting it. And then we'll apply drainage holes in the future. These are all sunken down a little bit. And I'm gonna just pour all 100 of these Pileoceras azureus and then the other 25 into my hand as well. Put those other ones in here. And so we'll do it with this one first. We'll grab the water. It's a little murky because it comes out of a tank to keep it chlorinated, just algae and some other stuff. So we give it a nice misting. I forgot to put sand on these, so we'll put some sand on top of them. And we'll press it into the soil. I should have done the sand first. A little bit more. Just here. Press that in. Got some seeds on my hand now. Give it a nice water. We should be good. And then we're gonna set this one up on the windowsill here. And it should be good now. Set this out of the way. This one's gonna be a little bit harder to water, but we're gonna give each of these just a little spurt of water. Like so. I'm gonna push it over a tiny bit. You got that heat pad, it's gonna get warm. It'll rise down. This thing will get real wet, so you gotta flick it before you open it, or water will go everywhere. It's only been about 30 seconds to a minute, and there's already humidity forming because the soil's getting warmed up by the pad, and then it's already condensation's already coming here. There's also a little bit of small, like a half UV ray coming in, which is also heating up the dome. Okay, so I'm here checking up and doing a little update. It's been 3 days, I guess 2 days actually, almost 3 days since the last time you saw these, and we already have one here growing. I checked the chart and it's a baby saguaro. But yeah, so those seem to be one of the fastest growing. I'm sure there's others starting to sprout out, but for the most part, that's the one I saw. That's the only one I've seen so far. Here, I'll switch on. There it is. It's just a little tiny pebble. I've been misting down the cacti actually about once a day. In the morning, normally the soil's dry. I tap on the container and a lot of water falls back into it. Then I give a light little mist because a little bit of it is evaporated and I don't think I put enough on to begin with. So I'm just gonna go, because the soil saturated a lot of it. So a lot of it's deep down in it. And because they are so close to the surface, I'm gonna make sure they get plenty of water so they can sprout properly. Okay, so we are now 5 days after the seeds have been planted and we're starting to get a lot of germination here. So here are the saguaros growing. They seem to be the first to come up and the fastest growing. These right here, the astrophytums growing right here. A few of my echinoceras are starting to come up. There's one right there coming out, but there's other echinoceras over here that have not started. We have some pharaoh cactus coming up right here. And then here we have the mix, and we have all different sorts coming up. Like these right, like these look a little different. They're more narrow, more candle-like. And then like the saguaros are a little fatter, and they're starting to open up. These little, you'll notice some little tiny hairs start to come out of them, but not much else. And to be able to properly identify the seedlings, you're gonna have to wait probably a month or two before they'll start taking on any kind of form. That doesn't, you know, they all kind of look similar at this point because they're all so young, but you can see they're starting to sprout up out of here. So these are the saguaros, which are, in my opinion, are some of the easiest cacti to grow. Here's some of the pharaoh cactus species. I'm not sure what the species is, pharaoh cacti row, and they're doing pretty well. And I'm very surprised on how well these astrophytums are starting to germinate here. We got some stenoceras growing. They're doing really well over here. These have not started producing anything yet. These larger seeds here aren't producing. This seed right there might be starting to root in. I noticed it picked up a little bit. So within a day or two, we might be able to start seeing stuff come out of it. Here's what they look like when they first start sprouting. You'll see a little seed crack and those little hairs come out of it. And you'll see they kind of split and get rid of that case. And then they start growing pretty quick. I would say they those seeds will split open and the plant will come out and it'll grow 10 times its size within a day or two. But then the growth starts to slow back down. But I'm gonna do probably one more update in a week or two to let you guys see how these guys are progressing and so you can know if yours are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, it's been about a week, 2 weeks since I've last shown these cacti. Here are the saguaros growing up here, all these babies. And then we have our pharaoh cactus, some of our echinoceras growing up in here. Growing up in here, you can see them real small. They're all starting to get their spines. But if you look out, the majority of each pod are growing. So most cacti I found through this little experiment I did, they can grow in these similar environments because many of them are native to areas that all experience similar climate. One thing I noticed is some of these cholla that were trying to grow up over here. This one might make it. It did fall over, but some of these broke and died. I think they grew a little bit too fast and then fell over. If you notice the light looks a little bit brighter here, it's because I put them underneath this LED light because they weren't getting enough sunlight. I still have them under here, but I did fib when I was talking about them and saying that they don't need that much water. If the water is evaporating from them, you'll notice every single day you'll have a bunch of condensation and you'll see how much water can, accumulate in it. This is from one night or 1 day worth. I took it off yesterday and rewatered it, and the soil gets dried out rapidly. And if it gets dried out too quick, you'll end up getting little dried up cacti, like this one, which I don't think it's gonna make it because it got a little too dry. But the majority of them are doing really great. And here's what they look like from the top here. But all different types of cacti coming up all at once. We've got all these different species, and I'm gonna keep following along with this, but yeah, this is what you'll get about 2-3 weeks after. It's been about 3 weeks since I planted these. This is what they'll look like about 3 weeks in. If they aren't looking like this, if they're getting too tall and stretching up, you're keeping them either too warm or they're not getting enough light. Mine were growing up really tall and falling over, and that was a result of not enough light and not enough heat. That's why I moved them in here where they can get more light from this LED light, and they're still underneath the growth pad because that's gonna help accelerate growth. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Please let me know in the comments down below whether or not you liked this video and if you learned something from it and if it helps you grow your own cacti from seed. Thank you for watching. My name is Tanner Kyler. Please subscribe if you would like to continue watching these videos or would just like to support this channel. Thank you for watching and have a great day.